Monica Jackson, a retired Navy SEAL lieutenant commander, never expected a routine traffic stop to turn into a fight for justice. After 2 decades of military service, she had faced some of the world's most dangerous situations, but nothing prepared her for the corruption she would expose within her country's justice system. It all started on a quiet evening when Monica pulled into a gas station, checking directions on her phone. Officer Simmons, a seasoned police officer with a history of excessive force complaints, saw her and decided she looked suspicious. His flashlight beam cut through the night, illuminating Monica's face as he approached with an air of authority. "Step out of the vehicle," he barked, already assuming non-compliance. "Is there a problem, officer?" Monica asked, her tone calm but firm. "Don't question me. Out. Now." Monica, well-versed in de-escalation, knew better than to argue. She complied, handing over her license and registration. But Simmons wasn't looking for cooperation. He wanted submission. When Monica hesitated to answer his next barrage of questions, he shoved her against the patrol car and accused her of resisting arrest. "You're assaulting an officer," he sneered. By the time she was booked, Simmons had fabricated a report, claiming Monica had reached for his weapon. It was his word against hers, and history showed that the officer usually won in cases like these. But Simmons had made a critical mistake. The trial was swift. In the grand courthouse, Monica sat at the defense table, her hands folded calmly, her dark eyes tracking Simmons' every move. Despite her composed exterior, she knew this was about more than just her freedom, a fight against an entire system built to protect officers like Simmons at any cost. Simmons, exuding overconfidence, took the stand first. "She was aggressive," he declared. "When I attempted to de-escalate, she reached for my weapon." A ripple of murmurs spread through the gallery. Monica's young attorney, Benjamin Carter, whispered nervously, "We need more. His word against yours won't be enough." Monica gave a knowing smile. "Patience, Ben. The truth has its own timing." When it was her turn to testify, she stood with the same poise that had carried her through countless missions. "I was checking directions on my phone when Officer Simmons approached," she began. "He didn't ask for identification, he demanded it. When I questioned why, he escalated immediately. So you admit to questioning his authority?" The prosecutor pounced. Monica met his gaze steadily. "I questioned his motives. There's a difference, one that speaks to the heart of this case." Then came the bombshell. Benjamin played footage from a bystander's phone. The video showed Simmons yelling, "Women like you need to learn how to listen." The courtroom atmosphere shifted. Gasps and murmurs filled the air as the judge called for order. The prosecution's case began to crumble. During a recess, Benjamin approached Monica, clutching a folder. "We have it," he said. Simmons' personnel file, multiple complaints of excessive force, targeting minorities, especially women. They tried to bury it, but we found it. Monica took a deep breath. "It was never about just me, Ben. It's about everyone who never got the chance to fight back. Now we make sure they do." Back in court, Benjamin presented the evidence. The once confident Simmons started to crumble. His fellow officers in the galleries shifted uncomfortably, their support fading. The final blow came when Monica revealed her military background. "I am Lieutenant Commander Monica Jackson, retired Navy SEAL," she announced. A stunned silence filled the room. The jury leaned forward, suddenly seeing her in a different light. "For 20 years, I defended this country's ideals of justice and equality," Monica continued. "I faced enemies abroad, navigated hostile territories, and led teams through the most challenging conditions imaginable. But I never expected to face such blatant abuse of power at home, on the very streets I swore to protect." Simmons turned pale. The jury deliberated for less than an hour. Not guilty. But Monica's victory was bigger than just her acquittal. The jury formally recommended a full investigation into Simmons' conduct and department practices. The judge, visibly troubled, ordered an immediate review of his past cases. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed Monica. She stood tall, her military bearing unwavering. "This isn't about revenge," she said. "It's about reform. We give law enforcement power, but with power must come accountability. Today, we took a step in the right direction." Her story spread like wildfire. Across the country, police departments reviewed their training protocols. Internal investigations were launched. Simmons was dismissed and later faced criminal charges. However, Monica's real victory was in the conversations sparked by her case. She began speaking at police academies, advocating for ethical policing and unbiased enforcement. Her unique perspective as both a veteran and a victim of police misconduct brought weight to her words. Months later, Monica stood on the courthouse steps, watching the sunset. Her phone buzzed with another precinct, asking her to speak on reform. She smiled, knowing her battle had become a catalyst for change. Her Navy SEAL training had prepared her for combat, but her moral compass led her to this victory. Sometimes, the toughest fights aren't won with physical strength, but with an unwavering commitment to truth and justice. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Eye-Opening Stories. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers together and continue sharing stories that inspire change and celebrate resilience. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next chapter of empowerment.
What happens when a police officer tries to manipulate the justice system, only to be caught lying about the wrong person? Today, we bring you a shocking courtroom twist where a routine traffic stop turns into a lesson in truth, justice, and accountability. Scene transition, the incident. Cut to an animation or reenactment of a police stop. Narrator. It all started when Officer Mark Stevens pulled over 39-year-old Janelle Carter for an alleged traffic violation. According to his police report, she was driving recklessly, refused to comply, and even resisted arrest. Show an image of a typical police report, highlighting key words: reckless driving, resisted arrest. But there was just one problem. None of it was true. Scene transition. Courtroom drama begins. Show a courtroom sketch or dramatization of Officer Stevens testifying. Narrator. When the case went to court, Officer Stevens confidently testified, doubling down on his story. He described Janelle as aggressive, non-compliant, and disrespectful. Cut to Janelle sitting calmly at the defense table listening. What Stevens didn't know was that Janelle Carter wasn't just an ordinary citizen. She was a high-ranking Navy officer, a woman trained in discipline, honor, and leadership. And she had proof that Stevens was lying. Scene transition. The truth revealed. Cut to a security camera or phone footage being presented in court. Narrator. Janelle's legal team presented irrefutable video evidence showing that she had been nothing but cooperative. The footage contradicted every claim Officer Stevens made. Show split screen of his testimony versus the footage. As the video played, the courtroom fell silent. Officer Stevens' face turned pale. He had been caught red-handed. Scene transition. The verdict. Show judge slamming the gavel. Narrator. In a stunning turn of events, the judge dismissed the case against Janelle and reprimanded Officer Stevens for his false testimony. An internal investigation was launched, and he now faces potential perjury charges. Closing scene. Show Janelle walking out of the courthouse, victorious. Narrator. This case is a powerful reminder that truth always prevails. What do you think should happen to Officer Stevens? Let us know in the comments below. And with a call to action, like, share, and subscribe for more stories exposing injustice.